Hey everyone, my name is Xenon6284. Welcome to my new channel. On this channel, I'll be providing a bunch of Wizard 101 content, such as guides, tips, tricks, and anything else that might help your Wizard 101 adventures. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about the rare jewels of Lemuria, what they are, where to find them, and if they're even worth your time farming, with some being more valuable than others. Now, before we get into this video, I did want to mention that these jewels can be used in both PvE and PvP. And just a heads up that these jewels are for late game wizards. You have to be at least level 145 to equip them and 140 to use the spell cards. They are found in later worlds starting in Lemuria, though you can also find them in Novus and Wallaroo as well. Now with all that said and done, let's dive into these jewels, where I'll show you the best place to farm them in Lemuria, and be sure to stick around to the end of the video where I'll show you all the bosses that drop them across Lemuria, Novus, and Wallaroo. Let's get started. Okay, first up we have the Buck Gordon Ruby. It gives the Buck Gordon card, which is a 3-pip fire spell that is 70% accurate, and it hits for 315 fire damage, changing a non-fire blade into a 50% universal blade. Weirdly enough, whenever I attempted to use this card in battle, it kept changing my blades into half of what it originally was. So if it was a 35 blade, it changed it into a 17 blade, and if it was a 30 blade, it changed it into a 15 blade, which is odd. I'm not sure if that's how it's intended to be. Nonetheless, I personally don't think this card is that useful, but maybe someone out there can find a niche use for it. Okay, now the best place to farm this jewel is with Morg the Merciless in Sky City, Lemuria. He does have the best drop rate, with it being a 1 in 5 odds, and he has a double chest chance after you defeat him in battle, which is very nice. Up next is the Duck Savage Sapphire. It gives the Duck Savage card, which is a 3-pip ice spell that is 75% accurate and deals 210 ice damage while extending 1 heal over time by 1 round. I could see this being more useful, being the fact that you could hit into a shield or use up a weakness that's on yourself just to get that hit off, and also extend your heal over time by 1 round in the process, so you do get more health in the end. So to farm this jewel, you're going to want to head over to the lab entrance in Mandora, Lemuria to defeat Moth Amon, and upon his defeat, he will have a 1 in 10 chance to drop the jewel. He also has a double chance chest after the battle. Moving on, we have the Dog Tracy Amethyst, which gives the Dog Tracy card, which is a 3-pip storm card that is 65% accurate and does 130 storm damage, while giving you a heal over time that heals 50 health per round for 3 to 5 rounds. While it might not be your everyday used card, it's still pretty useful to hit into a shield or use up a weakness on it, just to get the health gain, even though it is a low health gain. In order to farm the Dog Tracy Jewel, you're going to want to go to the Heap in Lemuria and fight one of 3 bosses, either Dr. Prune, Prime Mime, or Pips Moolis, in order for a chance to get the Dog Tracy Jewel, with it most likely being a 1 out of 5 chance. Sadly, the bosses do not have a double chance chest to confirm this. Okay, next up is the Mander Peridot. It is a 3-pip myth spell that is 75% accurate and deals 245 myth damage to a target. It also applies a Berserk aura to the caster if the caster has no auras active. If the caster does have a Berserk aura already active, it will change it into a Frenzy aura. And if the caster has a Frenzy aura active, it will change it into a Quickened Frenzy aura. This Mander Peridot, in my opinion, is the most brokenest jewel in this whole group. The reason why is because if you've never heard of a Quickened Frenzy, I don't blame you. It's basically a frenzy on steroids. Instead of a 40% outgoing and a 30% incoming like a normal frenzy, what a Quickened Frenzy does is it gives a 40% outgoing while doubling your pip gain for 4 rounds, and removing the 30% incoming from the original frenzy. Now this jewel is extremely useful in both PvP and PvE, and interestingly enough, I haven't seen anyone use it in either scenario. Now, I think that this card is crazy because it allows players to come up with some crazy strategies and some interesting setups that might not have been possible before. And finally, for the Mander Peridot, the best location to farm this jewel is in the same location you farmed the Duck Savage jewel. They are in the same drop pool and can also be found in the same double chest after defeating Moth Amon, with a rarity of 1 out of 10. Okay, moving forward, we have the Bantam Jade. It is a 3-pip life spell that is 85% accurate, does 100 life damage to a target and gives 1 pip to all allies, including the caster. While this might not be the best life spell or the best spell out of this group, it does have its practical uses in any kind of supporting scenarios, or if you just want to give an extra pip to your main hitter so they can get that extra hit out. You can find the Bantam Jade at the Temple of Truth in the Wildlands in Lemuria. You have to fight the Bantam himself, but he does drop the jewel and it is a 1 in 5 chance. Also, he does spawn with a second chance chest. Alright, second to last, we have the Solomon Crane Onyx. It is a 3 pip death spell that is 80% accurate. It does 225 death damage while destroying 1 damage over time, dealing the rest of the remaining damage. Although it's a really cool card, and I'm sure someone out there is going to come up with some insane strategy to use it with, I argue that there are better options out there for dealing damage over time while dealing damage at the same time, with options like Firecat Spellment Path B being a great example for less pip cost as well. The best place to farm this jewel is at Solomon Crane's house in Night Forest in Lemuria. You have to fight the Malugast, and upon his defeat he has a 1 in 5 chance of dropping this jewel. He also spawns a double chance chest after the battle. And last but not least, we have the Quartermain Citrine. Now this gives the Quartermain card, which is a 3 pip balance spell that is 80% accurate and deals 105 balance damage while stealing 1 pip from a target. The Quartermain card is a very useful card because of the steal pip feature. Now usually you have to buy a deluxe spellment pack that costs $2 a month to get the steal pip spell, but this is a cool alternative to get a steal pip spell for free that does damage and is a low cost to use. The best place to farm for the Quartermain Citrine is in Telos in Sion's Chamber in Lemuria by fighting Sion of the Old One. He does not spawn a double chance chest after his death, so I am assuming that his rate is 1 out of 5 like the other jewels. Great, now that we've covered all the jewels and the best places to farm them, let's move on to the other alternative ways you can obtain these jewels. One alternative way to farm all these jewels at once is the final dungeon of Lemuria. You can try your luck and run the final dungeon to get a chance at each individual jewel as a drop. However, the drops are ultra rare and they are 1 in 140 instead of 1 in 5. Another alternative way for those of you who are too impatient is just to spend money, buy crowns, and buy the jewel packs at the crown shop. Each individual school pack can drop the corresponding school jewels, with it being a 1 in 10 chance, but you do have to be level 140 for the jewels to appear in these packs. Alright, moving on to Novus, we have General Benedict Brutus von Booth. He drops the Fire, Myth, Life, Death, and Balance jewels. The next boss in Novus is the Copycat, which can drop the Balance, Myth, and Ice jewels. Up next we have Gorman Ramsey, which can drop the Fire and Death jewels. And for the final 2 bosses of Novus, you can actually find all 7 jewels from farming these 2 bosses, Octavius Monquistan and Maxine Raphapier. Moving on to Wallaroo, we have Mr. Kane that can drop the Ice, Myth, Death, and Storm jewels. Next we have Wally, which can drop the Ice, Myth, Balance, and Life jewels. And finally for Wallaroo, we have the Armor Ned Colley, which can actually drop all 7 of the jewels. Finally, there are 2 special locations where you can find the elemental jewels. Ice can be found at the Jade Oni rematch, tier 3, after defeating the Jade Oni, and Fire and Storm can be found at the Voracious Void raid after defeating the Nullity. Okay guys, that covers all 7 jewels, including what they do, where to find them, and the best places to farm them. I hope you guys found this video very helpful and useful, and hopefully I'll start seeing people use these jewels in PvP and PvE. But other than that, if you like the video, please show your support by leaving a like, subscribing if you enjoy my content, and I do plan to bring more Wizard 101 content in the future. So stay tuned for more awesome content, and I'll catch you in the next one.